Welcome to another episode of the Proof of Concept. I'm Jared Derival, and as you know, the Proof of Concept is created specifically to allow technologists and technology leaders to have access to world-class IT and information security proof of concept. That's the name, Proof of Concept. It's a casual conversation where I invite my peers, technologists, and technology leaders to come and provide thoughts on how they got to the point where they are and what can others do to follow their paths, etc. Today, I have the opportunity to connect with someone who is very rare to find in the industry. It took me quite a while to be able to schedule with this gentleman, but finally, we have him here. And we're going to have a productive conversation with none other than a person who has worked in the IT field for over 10 years. I'm not saying the name yet, but let me introduce you to this person. This is someone who has worked in the IT field for over 10 years. His passion is systems and cloud engineering. Today, he works as a senior systems engineer for a major airline. And I welcome to the Proof of Concept today, Jason Apakana. Jason, welcome to the Proof of Concept.
Hey, Junior. Thank you. I'm really glad to be here with you today.
Awesome. Jason, I always say Jason Apakana, but in Espanol, how do you say your name?
It's pretty much the same, Jason, but the last name in Spanish will be like Aparcana.
Aparcana. All right, that's how we can say. Jason Aparcana. Welcome to the podcast, Jason. I'm very happy to have you here with us today. As you know, you're a very busy person. You have big things that you're doing, and scheduling you was a hard thing, but I'm glad that we're here on the set today, and we're going to have a productive conversation. Jason, let's start with your background. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in information technology.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, as you mentioned, I actually have over 12 years of experience as an IT professional. I have a bachelor's in computer information systems from FIU. I have 2 associates, one in computer programming, another one in information technology from Miami-Dade College. During all my years working as an IT professional, I started actually as a computer technician. That was my first IT job. That was in the extent CompUSA, Tiger Direct. I'm proud that I actually work in most of the levels of the IT industry. I started as a computer technician, then I became HelpDesk, technical support. I did technical support remote over the phone. Then I moved to network and system administration. I did that a lot for a lot of years, actually, as working for multiple companies. Then in the last years, most likely since I met you, I started more specializing in systems and cloud computing. Right now, as you mentioned, I'm a senior systems engineer in an airline. I'm specializing or focusing actually mostly on Azure, Microsoft 365, virtualization, Windows and Linux servers, backup strategies, all that stuff.
Awesome. Yeah. Very cool stuff. And that's an impressive background. And I've always heard stories of people who started in the help desk and they get stuck on the help desk. There are even some terms, help desk hell. How did you escape that? It's very easy for someone to start on the help desk or as a computer technician who's doing computer repair and to find comfort there and not to find a path to go beyond that. That almost happened to me. For the longest, I thought I was in IT. I was a computer technician as well when I got started some 16 or 17 years ago. I thought I was in IT, but I was really an IT support person. I was supporting the people who are in IT. I knew that there were other fields. I knew that there were network engineering, systems engineering, et cetera, but I didn't know how to get there. It was like I was watching this thing from a glass, right? I didn't know what it took to get there, the path to take. But how did that happen to you? What got you from a computer technician to a senior systems engineer now?
Well, as you know, when you get a bachelor's, they give you like general information or general concepts of IT. But you have to most likely when you have to find what you like. If you want to go into database system administration, network administration, development, you need to find what you like the most. And I saw I actually got inspiration from others. So I saw system administrators at that time, and I say when I was doing support, I say I want to get there. I know I can do this. So you
Yeah.
start learning by yourself. You start going online. You start looking for the information. Start with Active Directory, domain controllers, PowerShell, scripting. All that stuff. Because you see when you're doing support and when you're doing things manually, you see system administrator actually using tools or using scripts to automatize processes. I want to be in that level. So that's it was actually a part of learning, a part of learning by myself. Actually, I actually preparing for certifications and stuff like that. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Okay. Okay, so you interrupt there, but I wanted to pause there, Jason. Learning by yourself. I think that's a very important thing. A lot of people who are looking to grow their IT career are lacking this desire or the means, not just the desire, but the means for them to study by themselves. What advice could you give to someone who is in IT or who is in an entry-level position like a computer technician or a help desk position who wants to level up and become a systems engineer like you, or potentially maybe a senior systems engineer like you?
Yeah.
How can they study by themselves? What would you recommend? What did you do?
Two main things, actually. One is to look for the information. Don't just get stuck where you are. The second one is to do not throw, or do not, for example, if there is a task that you need to perform and you need to escalate something to a system administrator or an engineer, don't just throw the ticket or don't just throw the task. Just ask them, hey, how you did it. Learn. Start asking or start involving in those tasks, and that actually helped me a lot. Actually, I wasn't only just passing the task, but I was actually asking, hey, how you did it? Show me, teach me. You have to.
I would say that's like taking initiatives, right? Don't be passive, don't just be there, but be active in your own learning, in helping your employer, in the engineers that you work with, help them solve the problems that they're solving. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly, pretty much. Yeah.
Awesome. Jason, recently you changed position. You used to be an engineer at Bang Energy Drink, where you architected a major system with systems on cloud and on-premise, etc. And you recently transitioned to where you work now for this national airline. I wanted to ask you, as you know, in the information technology field, it's not always easy for employers to find qualified candidates, qualified employees. I have peers of mine who called me all the time asking me, can I recommend someone for a systems position, a network position, a cybersecurity position? And it's very hard to find qualified candidates. In spite of everything that you may have heard, others may have heard that there are some layoffs in the technology field. There are still more jobs than there are employees, and it is hard to find qualified IT employees nowadays. What advice would you give, Jason, to an employer who is currently looking to fill a senior position, maybe at systems and networking? What would you say to that executive? One thing that they can do to attract qualified candidates?
Well, I think the most important is, other than looking for the knowledge or the skills, I think it is what is in all my years in the IT industry, I think is more important the attitude to learn and adapt. Personally, I prefer a coworker with less experience but with a good attitude that is a team player. It actually allows the team, because the IT industry is all about a team. If you don't have a good team, the projects are not gonna end at the time that they need to be completed. There's not gonna be if there's no communication, there's gonna be a lot of errors, a lot of failures, and so I think team player people, that's very important, and people that is willing to learn, to adapt and to collaborate with the other engineers and not only the engineers, but actually to other teams as well, because I mean, you have to have a good relationship with support, with networking, with database. I mean, everything has to be organized. Everything has to be
Thing has to flow. Yeah, that's good advice there, Jason. What are the qualities that you look for as an employee? What do you look for in an employer?
Mostly the organizational culture, most likely. A company that gives employees the opportunity to grow within the company, that that will give you the chance. If you see if the company or the supervisors or the managers, they see a good prospect to give that person the opportunity to move on instead of bringing someone from outside. And as I mentioned, I think a good team, a company, or an IT department that builds a good team is very, very important for accomplishing most of the projects.
Nowadays, you're not just a systems engineer, you are an Azure cloud engineer, or a cloud engineer specifically focused on Azure cloud. But tell us about the systems engineering field. What can someone do if they want to become a systems engineer or a cloud engineer?
Yeah, basically, you need to start from with the server operating systems. That's actually the base. Virtualization, Microsoft 365, virtual desktops, VMs. Is everything that is allows actually the company to host software and systems.
That's a very important field. It's not a discipline in IT that businesses can function without.
That's correct.
Okay,
That's correct.
So if that's the case, there must be a lot of opportunities in that field.
Yeah. Actually, it's very, very critical. We are as systems engineers, we're in charge of all the software, all the database and systems that the company uses to work. I mean, it is so important that, for example, in the current company that I work, we have over 12 engineers just dedicating to systems.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. So it's everything. We have to cover all areas. Microsoft 365. We have people specializing just in that virtualization, VMware, Hyper-V. We have specific people dealing with that. Azure environments, cloud environments, patching, backups. It's actually very, very important. Is something that you have to prevent before things occur. Failovers, load balancers. You have to make sure that systems are running all the time.
Yeah, that's a big responsibility. I would imagine that anyone who's in this position, especially if you work for an airline where people are flying in the air and tickets have to be purchased, et cetera, et cetera. So that's big responsibilities being put on the shoulders of anyone who works in a position like this. And for that, I would imagine that whoever's going to show up to these positions, they have to have the education to be able to deliver the solution that they promise that they can deliver when the time comes, right? So people have to be competent enough to be in this position, right?
Yeah, of course. It takes not only learning but also actually the experience to involve to deal with the things. Do not push tasks. You have to actually deal with them and resolve them.
Yeah. Think about someone who's in any other field that they're not satisfied with and they just want to pivot to IT. Any advice for these people?
I think the most important part is that you work in something that you love. I mean, if you go to work and you don't like what you're doing, if you don't like to go to work every day, then you need to change. You need to the best part of life actually is enjoying what you do. So the main thing is to be to love IT. If you don't, then I mean that this is not for you. You have to actually like it, and if you do that, then you're going to be very successful.
So, Jason, I want to dive in onto this a little bit more. So, if I'm hearing you properly, I think you're saying don't just focus on the money or the lifestyle that this can afford you, but also focus on having fun as well and enjoying the process, right?
Exactly. I love what I do, and every day that I go to work, I'm happy, and that's the most important. It is to live and enjoy what you're doing. That's and IT allows you to do that without a bachelor's. With certifications, you're gonna be at the same level as anyone that has a bachelor's.
I want to move into something else, something that's dear to my heart. It's the Magna Cyber Academy project. For those who may not know, Magna Cyber is a platform that I am building now with my peers to solve the information technology training problems. Plenty of employees are looking for qualified or quality training and they can't find that anywhere. We're solving this problem by bringing hands-on information technology training in networking, cloud, and cybersecurity. What that means is that we build complex networks and we allow IT professionals to come and learn on these networks from day one, hands-on. You have VPN access and you have access to qualified instructors like Jason who work in the Magna Cyber Academy, who are the teachers and mentors of those who are trained with Magna Cyber Academy. I want to dive into the Magna Cyber Academy project right now. As you know, you're a teacher there, a coach, and you've been working in Magna Cyber to teach systems and Azure cloud engineering. What makes you decide to invest your time? I know you're very busy. What makes you decide to take the time to help others learn IT?
As an IT professional, I have many colleagues who not only taught me about IT, but also inspired me to keep improving and learning. To be honest, you are one of them. Thanks to these people, I actually I have achieved many of my goals. So I also want to be that person, the person that inspires, that teaches new IT professionals. I want people to grow and become and achieve their goals the same way I did.
Yeah, that's I think that's paying back. You're paying back to the community that saw you grow your career in the opportunities that you have been afforded. You want to make these same opportunities available to others. That's a good way. That's a good way to pay back, or maybe pay forward. Maybe not pay back, because some of the benefits that we have gained as a result of our IT careers, I can tell you, if it wasn't for this career, I don't know what I would have been. I come from a long way, so I don't think I'll ever be able to pay back for all of the opportunities that different employers have given me, the trust that they put in me, all the way to now where I can have my own company and I no longer work for any one employer, and I'm employing others to work in my company. That's a big deal for someone who came from very humble background. So I don't think I can pay it back, but I am trying at least to pay it forward. And I think that's the same thing that you're doing as well, Jason, when you put your time and your expertise to train others through this Magna Cyber Academy program. So thank you for that. Imagine someone who signs up to be a Magna Cyber Academy student and they want to be a cloud engineer, an Azure cloud engineer. And as you are the one in charge of cloud engineering education in Magna Cyber Academy, you will be the instructor that they will be working with. Take me through what they should expect from you. Is it just that you have 12 years of experience? You have been in this field, you've done magics, you're respected all over the world, you work for a major airline, etc. Besides that, what else can they expect from you?
They're going to expect a friend, a co-worker. I have a lot of experience actually with co-workers that want to move from support to system administration, and I was there for them to help them. They can expect something like that. They're gonna. I actually. I know how this is a process from going from one position to another, and they're gonna find that they're gonna see what is needed in order to to get what they need in order to be successful on those specific topics.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's someone who has been in the field, who started, as they say, from the bottom. You were a computer technician just doing computer repairs, and you climbed up. And over 12 years now, you become a senior systems engineer with specialization in Azure cloud engineering. So it's someone who knows what it takes to grow a career from the bottom up. And I think that's really big, because I'd rather learn from someone who has been there, who has done it, and who knows what it takes, who knows the pain and the suffering, and who's going to simplify that for me and help me avoid the mistakes that he or she made as they were growing their career, instead of someone who just reads a book and comes to lecture me from what they learned in the book. So I think that speaks volume. Why do you think the Magna Cyber Academy is an important project? Why is an education style like Magna Cyber, where there's no book, no lecture, no exam, why is this important?
I think the most important is going straight to practicing or doing it instead of just reading it. I actually, most of the things that I learned, and I know the frustration because I have been there, is doing it. If you actually practice it, if you do it, that's when you learn it. That's exactly the moment you learn. I was explained multiple times how to do something. I got actually, you can also get even instructions, but you don't learn it until you do it. So this is what Magna Cyber is giving you, is the practice, the option to do it directly, and be with someone that will show you exact way to do it, and that will get you faster. That's actually a shortcut to learn and to get the information that you need.
Yeah, I think that speaks volume. That's exactly what's missing in the industry. You can watch YouTube videos, you can take training classes, you can pass certificates, you can go to college, or any number of things, but nothing prepares you for the job better than the job itself. Exactly. And so in the Magna Cyber Academy, you are on the job because we build exactly the systems that you can expect in any major corporation. Our network is built on ESXi. I think you help with the putting this whole thing together. And we have Palo Alto, Fortinet. We have a full-blown data center where people are going to learn on a real data center. They're going to have a real Azure cloud environment, their own cloud environment that we assign to them for them to practice and for them to learn. I think that is the reason why we believe that this is going to solve a major problem in the industry. Jason, I can't thank you enough for taking the time in your busy schedule to be with us here and to speak to our audience and to give them a bit of insight into your background, how you got to where you are, the cool things that you're doing, and what your students should expect when they come to study with you in the Magna Cyber Academy. It'll be a friend that they will find rather than a god. It will be someone who understands their pain rather than someone who's just sending information that they just got from a book or from a lecture. It'll be someone who has taken the path that they want to take and who will walk them through that path successfully. I can't thank you enough for that. And I think the students who will work with you will be eternally grateful as well. I thank you, Jason. Thanks for taking the time.
It was a pleasure, Jared. Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation.